Welcome back to the channel Numisma Hub Coin Collectors and History Lovers. Today we explore the story of the 1996 Australian $1 coin, a beautiful tribute to Sir Henry Parkes, the father of Federation. Top 4 first up, let's get started. The 1996 Australian $1 coin featuring Sir Henry Parkes is a commemorative issue released by the Royal Australian Mint. It was struck to honour the 100th anniversary of the death of Sir Henry Parkes, widely as the father of Federation in Australia. This coin is a part of Australia's long-standing tradition of producing circulating commemoratives that highlight important national figures and milestones in the country's history. Sir Henry Parkes, 1815–1896, was a prominent politician, journalist, and statesman who played a vital role in the movement towards Australian federation. His vision of uniting the 6 separate British colonies into one federated nation eventually came to fruition in 1901, just 5 years after his death. Parkes' speeches and leadership inspired Australians to embrace unity, which made his legacy deeply embedded in the nation's identity. The coin was released in 1996, 100 years after Parkes' passing, as both a circulating and collector piece. Millions entered general circulation, allowing everyday Australians to hold a piece of history in their hands. At the same time, special collector sets were produced by the Royal Australian Mint, including proof and uncirculated versions packaged in commemorative displays. The obverse of the coin follows the standard Australian design of the time, featuring the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. This effigy was designed by Raphael, whose portrait of the Queen was used on Australian coinage from 1985 to 1998. It shows the Queen wearing the royal diadem and facing to the right, surrounded by the inscription, Elizabeth II Australia 1996. The reverse of the coin, however, is where the true commemorative element lies. It features a finely detailed portrait of Sir Henry Parkes, complete with his distinctive beard and dignified expression. The design also incorporates inscriptions that honor his contribution to Australian Federation, reading Sir Henry Parkes, Father of Federation, along with the denomination $1. The coin was struck in aluminium bronze, the same composition as the standard circulating dollar introduced in 1984. Its specifications include a mass of 9 grams, a diameter of 25 millimeters, and a thickness of 2.8 millimeters. Its golden appearance comes from the 92% copper, 6% aluminium, and 2% nickel alloy, which makes the dollar coin both durable and distinctive compared to smaller denominations. The release of the Sir Henry Parkes commemorative dollar was part of a broader cultural movement in the 1990s, where Australia celebrated milestones leading up to the centenary of Federation in 2001. This coin effectively began a series of commemoratives that would remind citizens of the historical journey towards nationhood. Sir Henry Parkes himself was a fascinating historical figure. Born in Warwickshire, England in 1815, he emigrated to New South Wales in 1839. Rising from humble beginnings, he became a journalist and later a politician, ultimately serving as Premier of New South Wales on 5 separate occasions. His political philosophy was centered on democratic reform, education, and the vision of a united Australian nation. Parkes is perhaps best remembered for his famous oration of 1889, in which he passionately argued for federation. His speech sparked momentum across the colonies, inspiring leaders and the public to work towards a single commonwealth. Without Parkes' advocacy, the federation movement may have taken much longer to achieve. The 1996 dollar coin not only honors Parkes' political contributions, but also the values of unity, democracy, and leadership that continue to resonate in Australia. It serves as a reminder that the nation was built on the vision and dedication of figures who saw beyond colonial boundaries to a greater national identity. Collectors often regard this coin as a significant piece within modern Australian numismatics. While it was issued for circulation, its historical subject matter and limited release in special sets make it particularly attractive to those assembling themed collections around Federation, politics, or commemorative Australian. The Royal Australian Mint also released the coin in various collector formats. A proof version with a highly polished background and frosted relief was available in a presentation case. Uncirculated versions were sold in mint packs. These special strikes ensure that collectors could preserve the coin's details in pristine condition, while circulated examples became part of everyday transactions. Although millions were struck for circulation, the Sir Henry Parkes dollar is still a desirable find today. Many circulated pieces show heavy wear due to their age, making higher-grade examples more appealing. Prices in the numismatic market vary, with proof and uncirculated issues fetching higher premiums compared to worn circulation coins. Beyond its monetary value, the coin holds cultural and educational importance. Schools and institutions often reference it when teaching about Australia's federation and the role of parks. It provided a tangible connection between history lessons and everyday life, with students potentially encountering the coin in their change. By issuing such coins, the Royal Australian Mint reinforces the idea that currency is more than just a medium of exchange. It is also a tool for national storytelling. Through designs like the Sir Henry Parkes dollar, Australians are reminded of their collective past and the figures who shaped their present. Today, the coin stands as one of several commemorative dollar coins that mark key milestones in Australian history. It helped pave the way for the wave of Federation-themed coinage that culminated in 2001, including circulating $1 and coins celebrating the centenary of Federation. As such, it is seen as an important precursor in numismatic history. In summary, the 1996 $1 Sir Henry Parkes coin is more than a piece of metal. It is a celebration of vision, leadership, and national unity. By honoring the man often called the Father of Federation, the coin ensures that Parkes' legacy lives on in the hands of millions, the journey of a nation from colonial separation to a federated commonwealth. Next up, the 1993 Australian $1 coin is one of the most unique and historically significant commemorative coins issued by the Royal Australian Mint. Unlike ordinary circulation pieces, this coin was introduced with a purpose beyond commerce, to highlight the importance of environmental conservation and the role of the movement in preserving Australia's natural heritage. Its release reflected the growing awareness during the late century of the environmental challenges facing the continent, including land degradation, deforestation, and loss of biodiversity. Itself was a grassroots movement that began in Victoria, Australia during the 1980s. Farmers, community groups, and local organizations joined forces to tackle environmental issues collectively. By the early 1990s, had grown into a nationwide initiative supported by both state and federal governments. Its mission was to encourage people to work together in sustainable land management, soil conservation, and reforestation projects. The 1993 dollar coin was created to celebrate and support this movement, linking numismatics with environmental stewardship. The coin carries a face value of $1 and was struck in aluminium bronze, the standard composition for Australian $1 coins since their introduction in 1984. The alloy consists of 92% copper, 6% aluminium, and 2% nickel, giving the coin its distinct golden appearance. With a diameter of 25 millimeters and a weight of 9 grams, it shares the same specifications as other $1 circulation coins, ensuring familiarity while distinguishing itself with a special design. On the obverse, the coin features the familiar effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Raphael David. This portrait of the Queen, introduced in 1985, shows her wearing the royal diadem and has been used across many Commonwealth. It symbolized Australia's continued connection to the British Crown while marking the coin as official legal tender. The obverse carries the inscription, Elizabeth II Australia 1993, tying the coin to its issue year and country of origin. The reverse design is where the coin truly stands out. It depicts two hands carefully holding a small plant, symbolizing growth, renewal, and environmental care. The hands, emerging from the ground, represent community involvement and responsibility in protecting the earth. The plant itself signifies both fragility and resilience, underscoring the idea that with proper care the environment can thrive. This imagery was deeply tied to Landcare's ethos and made the coin instantly recognizable as a conservation-themed issue. The designer of the reverse was Horst, a German-born Australian sculptor and engraver who contributed greatly to Australian coinage. His design was praised for its simplicity yet powerful symbolism. The hands cradling the plant became not only a numismatic image, but also a broader cultural representation of Australia's environmental initiatives during the 1990s. Unlike standard dollar coins, the commemorative was not intended for wide-scale circulation. Instead, it was struck in both uncirculated and proof versions for collectors. The uncirculated coins were typically sold in presentation cards or sets, while the proof versions, with their high-polished mirror-like fields and frosted designs, were released in elegant packaging aimed at serious numismatists. This limited production run increased the coin's appeal and long-term. The Royal Australian Mint promoted the dollar as more than just a collectible, it was a message piece. By purchasing the coin, Australians were also supporting awareness of environmental issues. It linked the concept of national identity, expressed through coinage, with environmental responsibility. This was a rare example of currency being used not just as a medium of exchange or commemoration, but as a tool of environmental education. In 1993, Australia was undergoing significant discussions about sustainability and land management. Agricultural practices had caused soil erosion and salinity problems, while deforestation and water scarcity were pressing concerns. The coin emerged during this period as a symbolic call to action, encouraging citizens to engage in conservation and responsible farming practices. Its timing helped reinforce government and community efforts in environmental policy. The release of the dollar also reflected broader global trends. The early 1990s were marked by a rising international environmental movement, with events such as the 1992 Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro bringing ecological issues into the global spotlight. By issuing a commemorative coin, Australia aligned itself with these global priorities, demonstrating that it was taking proactive steps in promoting environmental care. Collectors quickly recognized the dollar as a distinctive and desirable piece. While its mintage was not extremely low, its thematic significance set it apart. Over time, it became a staple in many Australian decimal coin collections. For environmentally conscious collectors, it represented more than just metal. It represented a message of hope and responsibility for future generations. In terms of value, the coin holds moderate but consistent worth in the numismatic market. Uncirculated examples remain accessible, while proof strikes carry higher premiums due to their limited numbers and superior quality. The coin's appeal is less about rarity and more about theme, making it popular among both coin collectors and individuals with an interest in environmental causes. The coin also had educational value. Many Australians, especially younger generations, learned about the movement through its imagery. School programs, exhibitions, and coin sets featuring the dollar were used as teaching tools, bridging numismatics with environmental awareness. This dual role as currency and educational medium made it especially unique. In design terms, the coin fits into a broader tradition of Australian commemoratives that highlight national achievements and social causes. Just as other commemoratives celebrated military anniversaries, cultural events, or historical figures, the dollar stood out for its ecological theme. It remains one of the few Australian coins to directly address environmental concerns, adding to its distinctiveness. The movement itself grew even stronger in the years following the coin's release. By the mid-1990s, it had become a central feature of Australian rural and environmental policy, supported by significant government funding. The coin thus became a historical marker of an era when environmental care moved from the margins of public discourse to the center of national policy. Today, the 1993 dollar serves as both a collectible and a reminder of Australia's early steps in ecological responsibility. It reflects a time when coins were not just about celebrating the past, but also about shaping the future. For many collectors, owning the coin means holding a piece of Australia's environmental history in their hands, a tangible connection between money, people, and nature. In conclusion, the 1993 Australian $1 coin remains an iconic commemorative issue that bridges numismatics, history, and environmental consciousness. Through its thoughtful design, symbolic release, and ongoing cultural impact, it stands as a testament to Australia's commitment to land conservation and community action. More than 3 decades later, it continues to remind Australians and collectors worldwide of the importance of caring for the earth, making it one of the most meaningful coins in the nation's decimal currency series. Next up, the 1988 Australian $1 coin holds a special place in the nation's numismatic history because it was released during Australia's bicentenary year, marking 200 years since the first fleet arrived in 1788. This coin was part of a broader celebration of Australia's colonial beginnings, cultural identity, and the journey of the nation over 2 centuries. While the standard circulating dollar with the iconic mob of kangaroos design continued production, 1988 also brought several commemorative issues, including coins with designs dedicated to the bicentennial theme. The 1988 dollar represents both continuity and change in Australian coinage. The obverse of the 1988 $1 coin featured the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, as designed by Raphael David, a British sculptor whose portrait was used on Australian coins between 1985 and 1998. This effigy depicts the Queen wearing the royal diadem, with a more regal and dignified appearance compared to earlier portraits, intended to create an image that symbolized monarchy's enduring presence rather than a literal likeness. On the coin, the Queen faces to the right with the inscription Elizabeth II Australia 1988 surrounding the portrait along the rim. On the reverse side, for the standard issue 1988 dollar, the well-known mob of kangaroos designed by Stuart Devlin, Australia's official goldsmith, was retained. This design first appeared in 1984 with the introduction of the $1 coin to replace the $1 note. Devlin's kangaroo motif, featuring 5 bounding kangaroos in dynamic motion, quickly became one of the most recognizable coin reverses in the world and symbolized Australia's unique wildlife and environment. The design remained unchanged for circulating issues, representing stability and identity. However, 1988 also introduced commemorative $1 coins with themes tied to Australia's bicentenary. Special proof and uncirculated coins were struck by the Royal Australian Mint to honor the occasion. One of the standout releases was the 1988 commemorative dollar featuring the sailing ship First Fleet design, symbolizing the arrival of European settlers. These issues were not always released into general circulation but instead aimed at collectors, reflecting the Mint's growing emphasis on numismatic markets during the late century. The introduction of the $1 coin in 1984 had already been a significant milestone in Australian currency. The 1988 issues continued to solidify the coin's place in everyday use, phasing out the paper $1 note completely by the late 1980s. This transition was part of Australia's modernization of currency, making it more durable and practical. By 1988, the coin was well accepted in commerce, and the commemorative editions provided Australians with both functional money and cultural keepsakes. The 1988 $1 coins were struck in aluminum bronze, an alloy consisting of 92% copper, 6% aluminum, and 2% nickel. This composition gave the coin its distinctive golden appearance, making it visually distinct from other denominations. The coin weighed 9 grams and had a diameter of 25 millimeters, specifications that remain consistent with $1 coins today. The choice of alloy ensured durability and a long circulation life, with coins often lasting decades without significant wear. Mintage figures for the 1988 $1 coin were substantial, reflecting Australia's growing population and circulation needs. Millions of standard kangaroo design coins were produced to meet commercial demand. At the same time, smaller numbers of proof and collector coins were minted, including those with bicentenary motifs. These limited issues are especially prized by collectors today, not for their rarity in circulation but for their commemorative significance and their association with a milestone year in Australia's history. The coin's role during 1988 also went beyond monetary use. It became a token of national identity at a time when Australia was reflecting deeply on its past. The bicentennial year sparked both celebration and controversy, as it highlighted not only European settlement but also the long history and struggles of Indigenous Australians. While the coins themselves primarily celebrated European heritage, they remain part of the broader conversation about how Australia chooses to represent its identity through national symbols. From a design perspective, the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse was particularly striking in 1988, as it marked only the 4th year of its use on Australian coinage. The effigy emphasized the Queen's enduring presence on Australia's currency, while also modernizing her image for the late century. Many collectors today view the effigy as one of the more elegant portraits, and its association with bicentennial issues further enhances its appeal. The reverse kangaroo design, though unchanged, acquired fresh symbolic meaning in 1988. Kangaroos had always been a potent emblem of Australia, appearing on coats of arms, stamps, and banknotes. In the bicentenary context, they symbolized continuity, resilience, and the distinctiveness of the continent. At the same time, their depiction on a coin celebrating a European-centered milestone highlights the dual narratives of Australia's history, its ancient natural heritage and its more recent colonial chapter. For collectors, 1988 $1 coins exist in multiple varieties. The standard circulation issues are relatively common and can still be found in pocket change today, albeit often well worn. The commemorative coins, particularly those struck in proof sets and special releases, hold higher value depending on condition and packaging. Coins in pristine uncirculated state can command premiums, while those that were part of official mint sets retain strong collector demand. The 1988 proof $1 coins, struck with polished dies and blanks, showcase the finest details of the designs. Collectors treasure these for their mirror-like fields and sharp relief, which highlight Devlin's artistry and Macluff's regal portrait. Such coins were often sold in presentation cases, making them not just monetary items but cherished commemoratives of Australia's bicentenary year. Over time, these coins have appreciated in numismatic value, especially when preserved with certificates of authenticity. In addition to proof issues, uncirculated commemorative dollars were released, frequently packaged in presentation cards that provided historical context. These releases allowed ordinary Australians to take home a small piece of the bicentenary celebrations at a relatively low cost. The uncirculated issues ensured accessibility, while proof coins catered to serious collectors. Together, they created a layered approach to commemoration, appealing to both the general public and numismatic enthusiasts. Another interesting element of the 1988 $1 story is its role in international markets. Australian commemorative coins began attracting global interest during this period, as collectors worldwide sought pieces from countries celebrating historical milestones. The 1988 dollar, with its dual identity as both a circulating coin and a commemorative issue, became a symbol of Australia's increasing visibility in the global coin-collecting community. The cultural value of the 1988 $1 coin continues to grow today. For many Australians who lived through the bicentennial celebrations, these coins serve as nostalgic reminders of a unique year in the nation's history. At the same time, they raise questions about representation and inclusivity, as later commemorative coins would expand to honor Indigenous culture, sporting achievements, and other aspects of Australian life. The 1988 coin thus stands as a transitional piece, bridging older traditions of commemoration with more modern approaches. From a purely economic standpoint, the 1988 dollar coin is generally worth only its face value if circulated. However, uncirculated and proof issues can range in value depending on rarity and demand, sometimes fetching several times their original issue price. For collectors, the true value lies less in monetary worth than in historical resonance, as coins like these serve as portable artifacts of national memory. In conclusion, the 1988 Australian $1 coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II is far more than a simple monetary unit. It embodies a pivotal year in Australia's history, reflects evolving artistic trends in coinage, and represents both everyday commerce and national commemoration. Whether encountered in worn circulation or preserved in pristine proof sets, the 1988 dollar remains a powerful symbol of Australia's journey as a nation, rooted in its colonial past, tied to its wildlife and identity, and ever mindful of the deeper stories coins carry across time. Next up, in 1999, the Royal Australian Mint issued a special commemorative $1 coin to mark the International Year of Older Persons. This global recognition, declared by the United Nations, was intended to celebrate the contributions of older people to society and to highlight the importance of ensuring dignity, independence, and participation for them. Australia, being an active member of the UN and known for its innovative coinage, chose to honor this significant occasion by releasing a circulating dollar coin featuring a unique design dedicated to older persons. The obverse of the coin follows the standard design of Australian currency at the time, featuring the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II. By 1999, the portrait in use was designed by Ian, a British sculptor whose version of the Queen became widely recognized for its more realistic and less idealized portrayal. This effigy first appeared on Australian coins in 1999, making the older person's dollar historically important as one of the first circulating coins to bear this updated portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. On the reverse, the coin showcases a thoughtful and symbolic design created by Louise, one of the talented artists associated with the Royal Australian Mint. The artwork depicts an older person holding hands with a child, forming a circle that represents unity, continuity, and the cycle of life. The simplicity of the design carries a deep message, bridging generations and emphasizing the role of older persons as guides, caregivers, and keepers of wisdom within society. The coin's composition is the same as the standard Australian dollar, aluminum bronze, consisting of 92% copper, 6% aluminum, and 2% nickel. It has a diameter of 25 millimeters and a weight of 9 grams with a reeded edge. Despite being a circulating commemorative, the coin maintains the same specifications as regular $1 coins, ensuring it could be used in everyday transactions while still carrying a deeper symbolic meaning. Australia has a long history of using its coinage to commemorate important national and international events, and the 1999 older person's coin is an excellent example. While earlier $1 commemoratives focused on Australian animals, history, and significant national events, this coin took a humanitarian approach, highlighting the global importance of recognizing older individuals as vital contributors to family, community, and cultural life. The release of the coin was not only symbolic but also practical. With millions minted for circulation, it ensured that nearly every Australian would encounter the coin in daily life. This visibility helped spread the message of the United Nations initiative to ordinary citizens, encouraging awareness and respect for older people. It became a small but powerful educational tool that circulated widely across the country. The 1999 older person's dollar was part of a broader global movement in the late 1990s to address issues of aging populations. Many developed nations, including Australia, were experiencing demographic shifts, with people living longer and healthier lives. The coin's release was a reminder of the need to plan for an inclusive society where older people are valued rather than marginalized. Collectors quickly recognized the importance of this issue. Although it was a general circulation coin, its commemorative nature made it stand out in collections. Many individuals saved examples in uncirculated condition, while the Royal Australian Mint also released special collector versions, including mint sets, proof sets, and sometimes presentation packaging that highlighted the United Nations theme. In terms of mintage, the coin was produced in relatively large numbers to ensure it reached circulation across the country. Exact figures vary depending on the source, but the circulation release ensured its accessibility. Nevertheless, coins in pristine condition, especially proof versions, are more sought after today and command higher values among numismatists. The theme of intergenerational connection in the coin's design also resonated deeply with Australians. Many saw it as a tribute not just to the older population, but also to family unity and shared cultural heritage. The simple gesture of holding hands between young and old captured the timeless truth that every society relies on the transfer of wisdom and values from one generation to the next. From a numismatic perspective, the coin is interesting because it represents a transitional period in Australian currency design. The adoption of Ian Rank Broadley's portrait of the Queen in 1999 coincided with this issue, meaning the coin carries both historical and artistic importance. It is one of the first Australian dollars to reflect the Queen's updated image, making it appealing to those who specialize in portrait changes of monarchs on coinage. Another aspect worth noting is how this coin reflects Australia's broader participation in global humanitarian causes. While many commemorative coins focus exclusively on national achievements, this coin demonstrated Australia's willingness to engage with international themes and contribute to global awareness through its currency. This reflects the country's reputation as an active, socially conscious member of the world community. In the years since its release, the 1999 older person's dollar has maintained a steady presence in collections. It is not considered extremely rare in circulated form, as millions were issued, but high-grade uncirculated examples and proof versions remain popular. Collectors often include it in thematic sets of Australian commemorative dollars, as well as in collections focused on United Nations-related coinage. The message carried by the coin has not lost its relevance. In fact, with aging populations becoming an even greater issue in the 21st century, the coin's symbolic reminder of respect, care, and appreciation for older individuals continues to resonate. Many coin historians point to it as a fine example of how circulating money can carry powerful messages that go beyond economic value. The coin also reminds us that numismatics is not only about precious metals and rarity, but also about the stories coins tell. The 1999 older person's dollar is more than just a piece of bronze. It is a cultural artifact that captures Australia's acknowledgement of a critical global issue and reflects the values of inclusion, dignity, and respect. Today, the coin is often used as an educational piece when teaching about Australian currency or commemorative coin programs. Its design is accessible and meaningful, making it a popular choice for discussions about both coin design and social themes represented through currency. It also continues to be a reminder of how everyday objects like coins can help spread important messages to wide audiences. In conclusion, the 1999 Australian $1 International Year of Older Persons coin holds a special place in the history of modern Australian coinage. With its symbolic design, humanitarian theme, and connection to both national and international contexts, it remains a valued piece for collectors and a meaningful reminder of the role older persons play in society. It represents not only the creativity of the Royal Australian Mint, but also the ability of currency to serve as a bridge between people, generations, and cultures.